Hi, this is Don from American eLiquid Store. Welcome to our newest video introducing the Joye eGo-C product. Okay, this is the Joye eGo-C kit the way it comes from the factory. Let's take a look at what's inside. User manual. If you're watching this video, you probably won't need that. We'll just set it aside. It comes with two batteries, an atomizer covers and bases, which we'll show you in just a minute. Let's just take a look at all the rest of the parts. Underneath this top cap, there is a charging cable that you can plug into the USB port on a computer, or you can also plug into the wall using their newer, thinner AC adapter, just like that. Battery screws on the end. We'll show you that a little bit later. There are eGo tanks, 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 2 tank covers if you want to put little slip covers on your tanks, either to share with someone else or to keep the tanks a little bit cleaner for yourself. And here's the big new innovation. Each eGo-C kit comes with 5 atomizers. As you can see here, individually wrapped. We'll show you how to put those in the bases and the covers. Last but not least, a cloth carrying case. And I do want to say something about carrying cases here. In the course of this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of issues with the eGo-T that we believe the eGo-C has resolved. And one of them is a potential leaking issue. Here's an old-fashioned regular eGo-T, and what we'll often see is the actual tiny little hole in the end that the e-liquid goes through to get to the atomizer will get expanded on people, and then they'll have leaking issues down in here, which will cause other issues with the atomizer as well, which in my case I never have that problem, and I believe that comes from people carrying these things around in their pocket, torquing and bending and just not being very careful with them. And one solution to that is to carry the whole thing in a hard case. So the kit does not come with a hard case, but we do have them available on the website. And I'm just going to open one up here so that you can see what it looks like. This also is an official Joyetech product. And the case is hard. It's got a zipper in it. It's got some little stretchable nylon sleeves that you can slide your battery in. Sometimes easier said than done. And they fit in there really well. You can typically get a 10 or 15 milliliter bottle of juice, as well as a couple of batteries and a spare atomizer in these cases. And I do believe that they actually do help stop leaking. So if you want to pick one of those up, I do actually recommend them. Okay, the eGo-C is a little bit different, so let's take our time putting the pieces together and showing you a few things. First off, just like with the eGo-T, this is the battery, but the eGo-C battery has several new innovations with it. First off, it has the 5-click protection, which basically means it's got an on-off switch. But with the eGo-C, in addition to on-off, it also tells you how charged it is. So the first thing you'll notice, if I just click the battery one time here, you'll see that the light does not come on. That means that the battery is turned off. The way you turn it back on with 5-click protection is you have to press the on-off button 5 times within 1.5 seconds. So I'm going to just do that here for the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see that it flashed blue to let me know that it was on. Now if I was ready to vape, I'd just push the button as normal and you can see that it's white. That white LED indication actually means that the battery has more than a 50% charge. When the battery gets down to a 50% charge, it'll turn light blue, and when it gets down to a 10% charge, to let you know that you really need to recharge the battery pretty quickly, it'll turn to a dark blue. And I can show you that dark blue by actually turning the battery off. Let me do that. Again, I'm going to press it 5 times within 1.5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you can see that dark blue flashing. Hopefully that comes out on the video. Let's turn it back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and we're back on in white. Okay, now let's look at assembly of these three pieces. Let's start with the atomizer base, which is the silver part that was screwed onto the cone. And we'll take the actual atomizer heating element. The top side of the heating element is got the point on it that pierces the hole in the tank, and we'll show you that in a minute. Just set the atomizer into the atomizer base like that. Take the atomizer cone, put it over the top, and screw that together. And the best next step is to actually screw that onto the battery before we put the tank on. And the reason I like to screw that onto the battery first is that if you start with a new empty tank, I happen to have a tank I've been using here, there's no hole in the tank the way they ship, and when you push the tank in there, that'll actually pierce the hole, and then we'll twist it around to make sure it's open all the way. But since I've got a mostly empty tank here, I'll take my new favorite X-Line X1 flavor here and show you how to fill it right away with one of our tank filling adapters, which are really handy. I think people will really appreciate the speed of this. Just push it in, squeeze the bottle a little bit. They recommend you not fill these all the way to top. Leave a millimeter or two of airspace in the top of the tank. Should look approximately like this. Push it onto the atomizer all the way. And then I like to give it a twist just to make sure that the hole is open all the way around, and also kind of line up the mouthpiece with the button. And we're ready to vape. Here's the new eGo-C in action. Vape's very similar to an eGo-T. And if you notice there, as with all electronic cigarettes, a slow, steady draw works better than a hard, fast draw. Keeps it from drying out, keeps you from getting that burning taste. Happy vaping.